So when we read to the Bible verses that God is invisible and he can't be seen, God himself says that no one can see my face and live. And John echoes this fact that no one has ever seen God, right? God is invisible. He lives in dwells in unapproachable light. We read in the New Testament. I think that's somewhere in either Peter or in Timothy. But either way, so it's Paul's writing or Peter writing. Either way, God is invisible. He can't be seen. That means that all of the theophanies and the Christophanies either are just that. They're manifestations of either God or the Messiah, bringing God's presence to us in the person of Messiah. So, for instance, in Exodus chapter 24, Moses and Aaron and Nadab and Abihu and the 70 elders of Israel went up and did what? They saw God and they had a meal with God. What's going on? Well, if God's invisible, they either saw a theophany or a Christophany. It's one or the other. I'm of the impression that they saw it's kind of an overlap, right? It's not a hard line between one or the other because it says they saw God. So we would say that was a theophany, I suppose. It wasn't a vision, right? Like Isaiah, I think it was more of a vision, right? Isaiah chapter 6, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord high and lifted up. Was that a vision? Could be. Could be that Isaiah actually saw God. It's probably likely that he saw Messiah, Christophany, because later on in the book of Luke, I think, it talks about that Isaiah saw Messiah there. So all of this, how does this relate to our understanding of the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit is pure spirit, just like God is a spirit. And yet, we don't have any theophanies of the Holy Spirit. We don't have any Christophanies, as it were, of the Holy Spirit. The presence of the Holy Spirit, he doesn't seem to appear to us in, not as a theophany of God. If you call the what we call the dove coming down on Yeshua in the Gospels, when Yeshua was being baptized by John, if you want to call that a theophany of the Holy Spirit, right? I suppose that would count. Or the mighty presence of the Holy Spirit falling on the disciples in Acts chapter 2 with not just the sound of the wind, but the visible presence of the tongues of fire alighting on the disciples. If you want to call that a theophany of the Holy Spirit, I suppose that would work as well. But generally speaking, the Spirit of God is invisible, just like God is invisible. In other words, based on the testimony of the Apostolic Scriptures, it would be intellectually dishonest to call this Spirit being an it, because the Holy Spirit has personality. We're going to read over and over again that he can be grieved, he can be lied to, he has decision-making powers, right? He can express his own will. Last time I checked, these are qualities of personality, right? Most of us who are Trinitarians are fond of using the example of the fact that electricity as a power, as pure power, right, an energy force, doesn't enjoy the qualities of personality, right? The electricity in my wall can neither speak nor express its will. It cannot be offended. I can't hurt its feelings, right? I can't have a relationship with the electricity in my wall. I can't lie to it. It's an impersonal force to be reckoned with, right? I don't want to stick my fingers in the socket. That's a bad thing to do. Most definitely, I'm going to feel the effects of and the force of the electricity then, right? It's going to talk to me, yeah, you bet, but it's not going to be through intelligent speech the way the Holy Spirit can and does.